The demo was smooth. Then AI met the spreadsheet from 2017, right? Today, we're unpacking literally the most fascinating and, let's be real, frustrating paradox in business right now. A company decides to test out a shiny new AI tool. The test is brilliant, everyone is absolutely thrilled, and then the momentum just completely dies out. Why does that happen? Well, we're going to explore exactly what goes wrong when a perfectly good AI pilot leaves the laboratory and steps into the messy reality of your actual business operations. If you're a business operator, a managing director, or honestly just anyone trying to innovate inside an established company, you're probably wincing a little bit hearing that because it's painfully true. The AI looks absolutely flawless right up until the second it collides with the legacy systems that are actually holding your company together. So let's look at phase one, the clean pilot, where everything looked perfect. And let's be fair, the excitement leadership feels here is entirely justified. The demo works. The output looks incredibly impressive. The use case makes total commercial sense. Everyone walks out of the presentation room saying, wow, there's no way we don't do this. This could really help us. The potential is just undeniable. But pilots naturally look brilliant because they happen in a highly controlled environment. You had clean, curated data. The scope was purposefully narrow. You ran simple, happy path test cases. And crucially, you had interested, cooperative users who actually wanted the test to succeed. It's a sterile, safe environment, completely protected from the messiness of the real world. So sure, it proves the technology works, but only under very specific, highly idealized conditions. And this is the exact moment the AI leaves that safe laboratory. In the pilot, you had those nice, happy paths. But in real operations, the actual day-to-day business, it's a total collision course. Out here, requests arrive in the wrong place. Data is missing. People use different templates. The exceptions simply don't fit that nice, neat path we tested. I mean, we all know this file, right? We all have some version of final_v7_ real final living on a shared drive somewhere. It's a classic. And it perfectly highlights the fragile, sometimes really outdated, and highly manual systems that run most companies. The AI is incredibly advanced, but suddenly it has to shake hands with a spreadsheet that's been awkwardly patched together by 5 different people over the last 7 years. Which creates this massive reality collision, the operational friction points, the shared inbox that nobody actually wants to own, the approval process that doesn't exist on paper because it lives entirely in some manager's head, the CRM fields that staff consistently forget to fill in, or that temporary workaround that somehow became permanent 3 years ago. This is exactly where the AI project suddenly stops feeling magical. It just hits a brick wall of undocumented staff knowledge in manual patching. So we really need a paradigm shift here. An AI pilot is simply evidence that a use case has potential. It is not, and I repeat, it is absolutely not proof of operational readiness. This is where smart operators pause. They stop treating a good demo as a ready business. They realize that a pilot tells you the idea is worth pursuing for sure, but it doesn't mean your operational systems are actually prepared to absorb it. And here is the uncomfortable truth of the whole thing. When momentum dies, people tend to throw their hands up and say, well, I guess the AI didn't work. But the AI didn't fail. The technology usually works exactly as promised. The issue is that the operational system surrounding the task is broken. The business simply hasn't been designed to absorb this new way of working. The pilot finally met operations, and operations won. Let's look at how this failure pattern actually plays out in the wild. On day 1, the AI successfully answers queries. Everyone's cheering. But by day 5, the real-world edge cases arrive, queries that need a human manager's approval before anything can happen. By day 14, the team is sending side messages on Teams or Slack to Sarah because only Sarah has the missing historical context. And by day 30, there's this quiet, unannounced return to the old manual process whenever things feel even slightly uncertain. The shiny new tool is just completely abandoned. And here is the painful irony. Instead of saving time, the pilot becomes just another layer of work. The team is now doing their normal job, plus they're manually patching the gaps where the AI can't quite connect to the messy reality of the business. Quick checks here, side messages there, weekly meetings to review the so-called AI issues. Without proper integration, you haven't bought efficiency. You've literally just bought a new administrative burden. Okay, so moving on to bridging the gap. Taking this from a promising pilot to an actual working system, this gap between the clean test and the messy reality is exactly where Omnisenti steps in. Think of Omnisenti not as some heavy consulting firm coming in to rewrite your entire corporate strategy, but as the essential practical bridge. They exist to translate that brilliant demo
into an operation that actually functions day to day.
The Omnisenti blueprint isn't about the AI's underlying code. It's about designing the path into the business. It's kind of like assembling a giant puzzle. It starts with an audit of the actual processes, warts and all. Then it moves through blueprint design, system integration, and setting up governance, figuring out exactly where human checkpoints need to stay. Finally, it ensures implementation and ongoing optimization. Basically, it resolves the handoffs and defines actual responsibility. Now, you might be thinking, does this just slow us down? Not at all. Operational design is not about making AI heavier. Actually, scratch that. It's not about adding red tape or stifling innovation in any way. It's purely about stopping promising pilots from becoming abandoned experiments. It's about ensuring that the money, time, and excitement you invested in that test actually survives the transition into your daily workflows. Because there is a massive, massive distinction between the AI worked in testing and the business is ready to operate it. Most companies celebrate the first one way too early. They high-five over the demo, roll it out, and then just watch it crash into the reality of shared inboxes. The commercially intelligent companies, they stop and ask, what has to be true for this to work outside the pilot? Which really leaves us with the ultimate critical question that separates failed, expensive AI experiments from true, scalable AI outcomes. The question isn't, did the pilot work? The better question is, can this survive real operations? Can it survive the missing data, the human habits, the unwritten rules, and the legacy workflows? Because as we said at the start, the demo was smooth. Then AI met the spreadsheet from 2017. And that is exactly where the real work begins. That collision is inevitable. The only difference is whether you plan for it and design a working operational system around it, or whether you let it quietly fail and just go back to the way things were. So what does this all mean for you? Well, if your AI pilot looked promising but still needs to survive real workflows, real systems, and real people, talk to Omnisenti. Don't let a great tool become just another layer of administrative work. Turn those promising pilots into reliable, operational systems.